I'm going to prove that Islam is the truth in a short amount of time.
Oh, I'm sure you will. To yourself, and probably anyone who already thinks that it is quote-unquote the truth, TM. But will you manage to do so to me, or anyone else who isn't immediately enamored with your particular religious worldview? And in like 5 minutes? I find that highly doubtful, not only because demonstrating that anything is true actually takes a lot more time and work than that, but that proving any form of fakeismo real is intentionally impossible on purpose by the vast majority of religions for some reason. Almost like they don't actually want you to check.
I have put so much hard work into this video, bro.
Well, if that's true, that's a real shame, buddy. I promise you right now, you are going to fail in any real sense. Again, you might find it all very convincing, but if an outside perspective finds it all woefully silly, then what you have really done, apart from provide amusement, which is laudable when it's on purpose, I seriously doubt you actually put more effort into this than typing "How am me prove the Islam" into Google and then copy-pasting whatever you read that sounds convincing into a script. But I could be wrong. Maybe this is some original dumb. It's happened.
And after so much hard work, I've collected 5 points that will help us prove Islam.
So it's not just in 5 minutes. God, you had such a good title there. 5 proofs in 5 minutes. I mean, add in stupid and you got a Sir Sick title, but I'll assume that that's not the vibe you were going for. Also, does that mean each of these totally convincing proofs for smart guys gets a fucking minute a piece, tops? God damn. It's even worse than I thought. And I thought that it was going to be pissing awful.
So let's begin. Proof number 1. If I showed you this art and I asked you where did it come from, the answer that you'll probably give me is that an artist made it.
I don't know, dude. In this day and age, with the prevalence of AI art circling the drain and how generic that particular picture looks, there's no small chance that someone's gonna say, it looks like a computer made it. I have no idea if that's the case, but it kinda immediately shits on any point you're trying to make right here. Now, if you showed me a painting done in like acrylics or oils or some physical shit, something with texture, you know, I'm going to be more likely to think that it was made by a human. So let's just assume that's what you've done, so your point doesn't immediately collapse at the first hurdle.
You will not say that this art, which clearly shows intelligent design, is made by randomness. But when the same question is asked that who made this universe, then some people just don't like to use the same logic.
Well, it isn't randomness, but I hardly expected a towering intellect such as yourself to know anything about science, but it's not the same logic. You don't understand that you are comparing apples and submarines. One is crisp, full of juicy goodness and can be baked into a pie, and the other is apples. They are not the same, and when we see a painting that was painted by a painter, we know that's a thing that happens because we have painters who paint things. But no one has ever borne witness to a universe maker. But we have noticed that things inside the universe can form via natural processes. And if paintings formed via natural processes, we would understand that paintings can form all on their own without any type of interventionist god needing to do shit. I mean, if anything, if he exists, it means he's really, really lazy.
They do not say that universe is created by an intelligent creator.
That's because, right, it didn't need to be. If you want to say something was designed, you actually have to prove that specific thing needs a designer, not some other thing that is not the same thing.
Bro, very weird, isn't it, that when it comes to the question that where did this complex universe come from? And suddenly people just stop using this logic that if this art is made by an artist, then with the same logic, this universe must have been made by a creator as well.
Yeah, if you use the same logic, art is made by arter, universe made by universer. The problem is, doing that is fucking stupid and ignores all the other things that go into knowing where things come from. Not using shit logic is not the same as using no logic at all. It seems you simply aren't able to use more complex reasoning than, if this, then also this.
But instead of using this logic, they start to make false assumptions about the origin of the universe that have no proof, and many average people unfortunately fall for it.
Well, that's a fucking lie. Whether or not you know it's a lie is up for debate, but the idea that our knowledge of where the universe came from is based on any kind of assumption simply isn't true. It is a conclusion based on the evidence. The proof that you think doesn't exist. It's exactly why we have a strong grasp on how the universe formed. The only assumptions when it comes to the origins of the universe are the ones that go, I don't know, God must have did it because me smart.
So now that we agree that this universe got a creator,
No, we fucking don't, cunt.
then you might ask a question. Who created the creator?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? If art is made by artists and universes are made by universes, then creators are created by creatorers. Come on, this is basic stuff, man.
Which leads me to the second proof, proving Islam. You might be wondering, how does this question that who created Allah prove that Allah exists?
No, I'm thinking what idiotic nonsense are you going to say next that demonstrates that you don't know what the critical thinking is. Here's a clue. When you think you have come up with a brilliant thing that definitely proves you are a big smart genius guy, before you run off to the YouTubes to make a fool of yourself, try proving that thing wrong. You'll quickly find that it's stupid, and then you won't be quite so compelled to be such an embarrassment.
Bro, let's deeply think on it for a bit.
Don't pretend you did, because I know you fucking didn't, as evidenced by this video so far, and probably the rest of it.
We have to use our deep thinking for it. Point is that this universe must have an independent creator that is not created by anything.
You are going to have a really hard time proving that without making endless fucking assumptions. And didn't you say assumptions are bad? Or are assumptions okay when you do it, but not okay when you think that other people are doing it, even though they aren't and you just have no idea what the hell's going on?
If the creator of this universe had a creator, then the question will come up, then who created that creator?
Oh look, infinite regress. Whee! Proving that saying things have ultimate creators is really dumb. Unless you assert something stupid like, no, this one's special because I said so. How about universes just form on their own? Or perhaps that the universe has simply always existed in some form. Same result, fewer assumptions. What, you don't like that? Because it means you don't get to insert God in there? Too bad, dude.
For that, the question will come up, who created the other creator that created the creator? If we go on this forever, this cycle would never end. And for that reason, we wouldn't have had this universe in the first place.
Yeah, but that doesn't prove shit. Just because one way of viewing God might not make sense doesn't make some other way that you decided does make sense, even if, and that's a big if, it does follow logically. Logical doesn't mean factual. They are not synonyms. These are synonym roles.
This dependent universe is a proof that all of the universe must have an independent creator that is not created by anything.
Right, all you've done is presuppose your conclusion at this point because you haven't proven shit. Coming up with a reason why your God wasn't or couldn't have been created does not magically prove he exists. And for your argument to, well, anything, you have to assume that God is real. Well, I don't, but that's only because he isn't.
We agree that he is not created by anything, and we agree that this universe and humans are created by Allah.
Only the first bit, but again, because things that don't exist are not created.
Then you might ask a question, why do I have to follow religion? Third point, proving Islam. How does this prove that Islam is the truth?
Fuck's sake, even if your thing is true, that doesn't actually mean that I have to follow it. For starters, considering I don't believe that it is, why the fuck would I? But also, even if I did think you were right, I might and likely would have a number of moral problems with the religion as I do with all religions. And think, no fuck you, I am not following your bullshit on principle. And if you think I wouldn't or in fact couldn't do that, people take drastic consequences for their principles all the time. Honestly, it's weird God would make me like this.
That's because when we analyze humans, we will realize that humans must have a big purpose.
Lol, no, that's just what you want to be the case, for fuck's sake. Christ, that's the one that always gets me. And it always comes from the types who will call atheists arrogant. Well, you just think you are God or some shit like that. Whatever the fuck it's supposed to mean. While at the other side of their face talking about their close personal relationship with God and their great purpose in the universe. Calm the fuck down.
You might ask a question, why do humans must have a big purpose?
Considering how good your English has been thus far, I assume you speak it fluently. But that was a question so fucking stupid, I would have assumed that I wrote it.
Given by the creator of this world. Answer to that is the high level of abstract thinking and the critical thinking humans do.
It would be nice if you could provide an example of that instead of being, literally the fucking opposite thing all the time.
Choice to choose between right and wrong. They have the ability to choose to hurt others or please others.
Yeah, it's not like being a massive dick versus being supportive of the people around you and one being a greater advantage. Aren't things perfectly explained by evolutionary traits? No, you can only be good because God, though. Also missing the point that if you can't be good without God, you're not good. Congratulations, you played yourself.
All of us are created by Allah. So if Allah have created complex living thing called humans, which have the ability to do so many things that animals can't do.
While there are things that humans can currently do that appear that animals simply don't do, the idea that they can't or could never is a much, much tougher idea to demonstrate, if not impossible. Because even to this day, our understanding of animal behavior and capabilities goes well beyond what we previously thought possible. Toss in the fact that evolution is a thing that changes their abilities over time. The idea that humans are this ultra special, unassailable thing that nothing compares to is obviously completely ridiculous. Not to mention the fact that humans are animals. So under that concept, animals can literally do everything that humans can do, because it's like saying that cars can't do what a McLaren F1 can do. It just doesn't make any sense.
Then Allah himself must have given a purpose for humans as well. And how will we know what that purpose is?
Let me guess. Book, though.
The answer is Quran, which creator of this world sent down to guide humanity. The book which mentions the purpose of humans on this earth.
Fucking called it, and they all do that. That's the fun part of these kinds of videos. Like, even if what they think is demonstrable fact, but isn't, even if it were, that doesn't prove anything other than a god. It could be the great mighty Pooh for all they know, and it seems more likely now that I think about it.
So now we agree that there must be a religion that the creator of this world wants us to follow.
Fucking hell, you really do think that people are just immediately nodding along with this gibberitic nonsense? Like a toy dog in a car. Fuck me. No, I don't agree with anything that you have said, and I seriously doubt you are going to convince me that you can convince me of anything else at this rate, let alone actually do it.
Now you might ask a question, why only Islam? Why not any other religious book?
Oh, hey, he kinda sorta figured out the flaw in his last bit. Although, I'm sure he's going to fuck up the reply. But it's better than nothing. That's not true, is it? Nothing would have been 100% better than this video. But we gets what we gets, I guess.
Which brings me to the fourth point which will help us prove Islam. Quran must come from the creator of this world. The proof of that is the Arabs of the time more than 1400 years ago were very, very good at Arabic. But when they heard the Quran, they knew that the humans cannot write this. Quran is unchanged for more than 1400 years.
What? Apart from the fact that that's almost certainly not actually true, let's just say it is. So what? Because a book of lies hasn't been edited ever, that magically makes its content factual. That's not how that works, my dude. Just because people have kept something relatively well preserved for a long time doesn't suddenly make it credible. I could chisel the words "Sir Sick has the greatest YouTube channel ever and you should totally like and subscribe" onto a slab of granite and then seal it in a perfectly safe chamber for 1,000 years, and that wouldn't automatically make it true. It's true because of course it is, but that's beside the point. Which is the thing you should use to like and subscribe.
Allah have challenged in the Quran to even make a surah like the Quran. The shortest surah in the Quran only got 3 verses. And still, people have not been able to produce even a surah like the Quran.
Alright, so a surah is a chapter. Okay, well, what do you mean, like? There's tons of religious texts that are just like anything in the Quran to someone like me. And if you're like, it has special properties? According to who? People who really like the Quran? Well, I'm sorry, but you'll have to forgive me if I don't take your or anyone else who is already heavily invested in the Quran's extremely biased words for it.
And on top of that, when you study other major religions in the world like Christianity, Bible got mistakes. So there must be a true religion on this planet.
Holy shit, you know that book is full of factual inaccuracies, yeah? And even if they were written that way on purpose, if somehow that's your point, that doesn't fucking make them not wrong. And there must be a true religion on the planet, eh? No? What makes you think that? There could absolutely be a real God that no one has accurately captured in a religious form. That's like saying we must have all the scientific knowledge possible because it's possible to have that knowledge, for fuck's sake.
People who know classical Arabic very well can understand the linguistic miracle of the Quran, which proves that Quran is surely sent by the creator of this world, Allah Azza wa Jal.
I really like this thing, doesn't make it magic nor true, and linguistic miracle is the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard. And I've seen spirit science.
There are also scientific miracles in the Quran. You can look that up on trusted websites.
Scientific miracles? Man, if you could only comprehend how fucking stupid you sound. A miracle is a supernatural event. Science is about things in nature. Please learn how fucking words work.
If the Quran was from other than Allah, they would have found many contradictions in it. People who claim that there are contradictions in the Quran.
Yeah, because there certainly are. But here's the thing. You could write a text that is entirely non-contradictory within its own bounds. That, again, doesn't make it factual. The status of lacking contradictions doesn't make fictional texts fucking true. You could write a tale that is completely lacking in any form of contradictions, but it's about a flying space unicorn called Jeffrey. Do you think that makes Jeffrey real, or do you think it makes this point a really, really shit one? You have to pick. TikTok, motherfucker.
Clearly are ignorant and those people have been refuted. Also, you might ask a question that, what if Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, wrote the Quran or took someone's help in writing the Quran?
I wouldn't, because who the fuck cares? Someone being helped to write something doesn't make it false. Stephen Hawking definitely had much assistance in writing some of the greatest scientific literature of our time. No one thinks that makes it bad. Even your straw man is running out of steam.
Which brings me to the fifth proof, proving Islam.
Alright, cool, but it better not be stupid, otherwise I'm going to have to make fun of you for it. And you don't want that, unless you do, and this whole thing is just some sort of kink, where I'm completely on board. Look, if it gets you off, man, who am I to judge?
You should know that our Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, did not know how to read and write. So our Prophet, peace be upon him, could not have wrote the Quran, and it is not possible for our Prophet, peace be upon him, to took someone's help to write the Quran. Because in humans, no matter how much someone is good at Arabic, not even great Arabic poets have been able to produce even a surah like the Quran. And the shortest surah in the Quran, like I mentioned before, is only 3 verses.
But what? Are you saying that he couldn't have had someone just write down what he said word for word? What the f*** are you talking about? I think even you have to realise what a poorly thought out argument that is. What, is Arabic completely incomprehensible from person to person? But then how is it a language? And how could anyone read the f***ing book?
So it must come from the creator of this world.
No, that's f***ing stupid, and so are you. Bye!
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the